We are back with yet again another breakdown video. For those of you who are new to the channel, my breakdown videos, I just find small video clips that I can break down. I play the entire video and then I go back and give my critiques on various pieces that I thought stood out to me in the video itself. So I just happened to go on Instagram because I was just posting up a screenshot, just letting my followers know that I have a new video posted and whatnot, like I usually do probably every couple of days. And I came across this video that was on Craig J's Instagram page, and shout out to him. Some of y'all may be familiar with him. He leaves comments and everything like that. And he sends me some stories every now and then to talk about on my channel. Whether or not I talk about them is really at my own leisure. But this one I couldn't pass up. Now, I often, sometimes talk about, the divestors. I file them under the Blackaren series quite often. Like they're actually the star over there. And then I also talk about the bed buckings as well. But, those are mainly relegated to the Sambos of, our community. But I wanted to really talk about this one because much like the divestors, the male divestors, who they actually do have a name, which is, you probably heard it, and it's called SYSBM. And it says, save yourself, black man. Now, many of them will say it means this and it means that, but at its core, they're doing the same thing that the female divestor tends to do, which is go and try to seek love or lust outside of the community because those within are just too much for them, quote unquote. But I came across this video, and as you can see right here, it says what it's like being in an interracial couple. And this is a PC woman right here, and this is her boyfriend right here, and I can tell it's a black man right here. And you're gonna hear her have a conversation, basically talking. I can't think of who she's talking to. I don't know if it's a family member or somebody else, about her basically, the relationship seeming one-sided when it comes to the family. Basically, his family has opened up to her. I'm guessing he's already met, or not met. She's already met his family. They welcomed her with open arms and all of that good stuff. But when it came to her family, it wasn't received the same way. And this is a commonality when it comes to these interracial relationships. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and then we're gonna go ahead and break it down and listen to what she says.
In the sense that I'm going to tell him, no, you can't come with me to go to a family event when his family has never excluded me. So if it's you guys' choice to not want to have us around, that's okay. I mean, obviously I'm already dealing with that with my own mother and father. But to me, it's just, I'm not ever going to be disrespectful to him and tell him, okay, well, I'm going to go see my family, but you're not welcome. I don't think that's fair to him because he's never disrespected you. He's never disrespected Grandma Jackie. He's never put any of us in harm's way or done anything wrong. So to me, it's just like, she's literally never even met him or had a conversation with him. So, but yeah, I mean, if it's, if it's a matter of, okay, she's worried about it, if the there, he's never threatened her, he's never done anything wrong to her, he's never put me in danger. So my thing is just like, it's very frustrating. Imagine if Brent's skin color was different, what kind of trouble he would have been in. And I'm not trying to make it that way, but he was a drug dealer. He did some horrible things. Her first husband beat her. So it's like, if their skin color was different, maybe their lives wouldn't have been as, they wouldn't have gotten away with as much as they did. And that was a lot of what his past looks like. So I just, I don't know. It's okay though. I get it.
Okay, so that's the entire video right there. I didn't realize it was going to be as long as it was. So y'all just heard the entire y'all saw the entire clip right there. And I didn't know that the boyfriend was going to put the camera on to him. So I had no idea what he looked like. I just knew he was black. But he actually showed himself right there, hearing the entire conversation. So we're going to go back and we're going to dissect what was said in the video, which is pretty cut and dry right then and there. But we're going to go back and play it anyway.
In the sense that I'm going to tell him, no, you can't come with me to go to a family event when his family has never excluded me.
Okay, so this basically reiterates what I was talking about at the very beginning of the video, where his family is more open to her, more welcoming of her, welcome her with open arms, and she's basically making her feel welcomed and pretty much almost like she's a part of the family. If they want to escalate and go any further with this, although the wrench comes when it comes to her side of the family and how they really are standoffish towards him. They're kind of cold to him. And then, of course, she goes on to explain, even though he really doesn't pose a threat to her, and just saying that he's an all around good guy, but because of his skin color, that's the threat to them. And that's why it says right here what it's like being an interracial couple. But like I said, it leads into a bigger discussion that I'm going to talk about after I go through the video itself again.
So if it's you guys' choice to not want to have us around, that's okay. I mean, obviously, I'm already dealing with that with my own mother and father.
Okay, so when she says that she's already dealing with this with her own mother and father, it sounds to me like she's talking to another family member. Because the way that she said it, she's not talking to her mother. She's not talking to her father. She's talking to another family member who also clearly has the same views towards her boyfriend as her parents do. So this is not just a thing of, oh, her parents are the only ones that feel like this. It's somebody else in the family that feels the same exact way too. And that could be that's a big issue. And like I said, this is why when it comes to the divestors, both the men and the women, as far as I'm concerned, this is the part that they don't tell their followers or their listeners about. They only tell them the so-called good part, if they expand the family, what their kids can probably come out looking like, but they don't talk about this. And this happens more often than not in these type of relationships. Not saying that it happens in every last one of them, because you don't want to deal in absolutes, but this happens quite often. That's why I always said I wish I could be a fly on the wall in some of these homes to see stuff like this, because this is not what they're going to talk about. And it's crazy because I don't promote that on my channel, but it's wild to me because I'm talking about this, which is something that you would think that some of these channels, or all of them for that matter, that promotes this would actually talk about. But see, that would be scaring away their audience. And what's so crazy? They really wouldn't be scaring away their audience, because with the audience they've already built up, they will watch this and they'll probably still ignore it and say, oh, my Karen or my Becky isn't like this, or my Brad, he's not like this. The only thing that'll probably happen is the video might not get that many views. And that's probably about it.
But to me, it's just, I'm not ever going to be disrespectful to him and tell him, okay, well, I'm going to go see my family, but you're not welcome.
So it sounds like to me right here that she's made up her mind that she says she's not going to disrespect her boyfriend and just say that he can't come to the family functions because he's black. So it sounds like to me she's in the process, if she hasn't done so already, has cut off her family to be with this man. So she's chosen the man she's with now over her own family. And it sounds like to me, if I'm not mistaken, or if I'm not reading too much into it, it sounds like her family probably has cut her off. So now she's been tossed to the side. And that's another part to these interracial relationships that a lot of people don't talk about either, is the aspect of now that your partner, and I'm talking about, from a perspective of a black person, whether man or woman, now that your partner has been cut off, now they have no other choice but to lean heavily on you and your family. That is their family now. They have basically become a nomad to them. And basically they're saying messing with you has tainted them. I keep telling y'all that that Dub S is very generational. It's very much passed down. It's almost like a family curse. It's passed down. You might have some that might want to break the cycle, but then there's going to be others that are going to keep the cycle going. And apparently they probably taught her some things, but then she got a little seasoning in her life. And you know what they say, once you go black, you never go back.
I don't think that's fair to him, because he's never disrespected you. He's never disrespected Grandma Jackie. He's never put any of us in harm's way or done anything wrong.
So the fact that when she said that she's never disrespected you, never disrespected Grandma Jackie, that lets me know even further that she's definitely talking to another family member. Now, I don't know if this is a sibling or a cousin, but it's not her parents, because she didn't refer to them, you know, in a tone that will allude that she's talking to her parents. So this is either a sibling or another family member, like maybe a cousin of some sort.
So to me, it's just like, she's literally never even met him or had a conversation with him. So, but yeah, I mean, if it's, you know, if it's a matter of, okay, she's worried about it, if the there.
And this is the little quick glimpse that you get of the boyfriend. And what's so crazy is you would think that he's like my complexion, but no, he's on the lighter side. I'm not going to sit here and say whether or not he could be mixed himself. Or maybe he just has two, you know, he just came out light skinned, but he has two black parents. But let's hypothetically say that he is quote unquote biracial. I keep telling people who are biracial or mixed that you may go around claiming or calling yourself biracial or mixed. We as black people who have two black parents who, you know, look aesthetically like you can look at us and tell we're black. You don't have to try to figure it out. We'll go around and we can call you biracial or mixed. But people who look like his girlfriend, they gonna know. So good luck on trying to pass. And you saw how he looked in that camera. If he is quote unquote mixed, he couldn't pass for nothing. Like, he literally has all the black features. It's three features I always tell you about black people. If you can't tell that they're black, look for these three things: the hair texture, that nose, or them lips. They either gonna have one of the three, two of the three, or maybe possibly all of the three. It's going to be there somehow, some way, because, you know, black genetics are very, very strong. But like I said, he could be like Steph Curry and have two black parents, but they just came out really light. But he's not even Steph Curry's complexion. But I can look at him and tell that, you know, he couldn't pass. He couldn't pass. I wish I could rewind it, but the way this video is set up, I can't do it, and I'm not playing it again a third time.
He's never threatened her. He's never done anything wrong to her. He's never put me in danger. So my thing is just like, it's very frustrating.
So now she's basically making the case of, like, you know, he's a good guy. He doesn't put her in any danger and everything like that. And the thing is, she knows the truth. She knows that the reason why her family feels some type of way about him is because he's a black man. It has nothing to do with his morals or him being a good guy. Even for them, that's all good and well, but he's black. That's the stain. That is the stain right there for them. That is the deal breaker for them. It has nothing to do with him being a great guy. That's what I said about, you know, black people. We could find the cure for cancer. We could find the cure for AIDS and HIV. We can do all these wonderful things. We could save a cat out of a burning tree. But at the end of the day, we're still black. And for that alone is going to be an issue for people like her family. And the quicker people understand that, the more the more better off they'll be. Again, going back to what they were saying about what it's like to be in an interracial relationship. Again, this may not be the case for every last relationship. This is theirs right here, but I'm willing to bet that this happens more often than not. That's why I said I'll just use with the male divestors in this case right here. Are y'all going to show a video like this to your followers and give them the heads up, like say, hey, this could be what happening in a relationship? It doesn't have to necessarily be that the woman, it could be off-putting or that she has a way about herself. It may not even be her. She could probably be one of the best people you ever met, but it's her family. That's the problem. That's in the way of your own happiness. Like, you can tell that if this relationship did not work, it wouldn't even be because of her. It would be because of her family. Because her family is a problem. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, what I'm talking about, these are complete strangers right here. Like, we never see her face at all in this video. We just know she's PC from her back. And you can tell she's upset because she's crying. She's sniffing. She's crying on the phone right now. Like, she's genuinely upset by this. And the crazy part about it is, I don't want to say if she knew or if she didn't, but I wish I could know, did her family teach her a certain way, quote unquote, when she was growing up about black people, black men in particular? Did they say something to her and maybe she thought, it might be too risky for me to do, but let me go ahead and test the waters and see what happens? And then she ends up with this guy who for all intents and purposes, could be for the first black guy that she ever ended up with, and was like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's nowhere near how my parents made it out to be. And that's probably a reason why she's upset, because she probably felt she was lied to in her life about how black men were from her family. And then when she found out otherwise, or at least from the guy she's with, then it's like, that's where the heartbreak comes in. Not because of, just her parents being who they are, but because she felt like she was being lied to. And at this part, it gets kind of quiet. I can't make out what the other person is saying, but they're kind of talking loud over the phone because she doesn't have it on speakerphone. But if you hear closely, you can tell someone's talking to her and she's just listening at this point.
Imagine if Brent's skin color was different, what kind of trouble he would have been in. And I'm not trying to make it that way, but he was a drug dealer. He did some horrible things. Her first husband beat her. So it's like, if their skin color was different, maybe their lives wouldn't have been as, they wouldn't have gotten away with as much as they did. And that was a lot of what his past looks like. So
it sounds like to me in this part, and this is the part that kind of like got me a little bit confused, because maybe I don't know if I really heard it completely the first time. Maybe some people down in the chat can actually back me up on it, but it sounds like she's talking about a relationship that wasn't happening, of course, with her, but maybe somebody else, that the person, whoever she's talking on the phone with, they knew mutually. It could be another family member, but it says that this other person was abused, and the person they were dating was a drug dealer. And then she said something about skin color. Now, I don't know if this other person could be another family member, if they too was possibly dating a black man as well. And maybe that black man that they were dating was doing all of these things, and all it took was for them to see it one time happen with that person to realize that black men overall across the board were just not good for them, like maybe another sibling or another female cousin. And then the thought of her getting with a black man, they thought he might be doing the same exact thing as this guy did. So it sounds to me like they've made a blanket stereotype on any black man that would dare talk to them or want to date them, based off of what they saw from another family member that was dealing with a black man. You said, dealing drugs and being abusive and all this type of things. And then she went on to the thing of, well, I wonder if this person was another skin tone. Let's just put it out there. If they were PC, doing the same exact thing, dealing drugs, being abusive, would they have received it the same way, or would they have acted differently? I think I might have gotten that right, because the first time I heard it, I didn't really catch it. That's why I like to go back and do these breakdowns so I can hear it again. But I think I got it on that go round. Y'all let me know.
I just, I don't know. It's okay, though. I get it.
And then it cuts off right there, and that's pretty much the end. So I don't know what else could have happened in the conversation, but we pretty much got quite a bit in that video. I think the video I didn't clock it. Felt like maybe about a minute and some change. But yeah, I'm just curious after that, like, are the male divestors going to talk to the men that follow them about what actually can go on in these relationships? And I'm looking at the comment sections of Craig's video. It's only a couple comments. And it was asking, it was asking the questions about, is it worth it? And he says it doesn't seem worth it. I even left a comment where I said, and this happens more often than not. And that's what these male divestors don't tell their followers. Someone else says, go ahead and just leave her now. And they're talking about the boyfriend. And I can't even be mad at the person who said that, because that's a lot to deal with. Because you got to think about, you want to establish a relationship with this person, but then on the back burner, you got her family in her ear trying to tell her things that's probably not even true about you based off of an experience from another person. And like, that's a deal breaker. The thing is, if you with that person, now you have been ingrained or etched into that family. And imagine awkward, moments and whatnot. And there's only so much covering that the person is going to do and saying why the person is not coming to the family functions. Well, clearly you don't even want them there. Or maybe if you come to the family function and the parents don't show up because they don't want to see him or see you with him. So it's a lot. Another person said, I'm good. And another person wrote, they actually put a emoji, like a heartbreak emoji. So it's a lot. That's another reason why a lot of Black people kind of try to steer clear of these type of relationships, because this is another aspect right here that people don't like to address. And while some people say, like, they might be in those type of relationships and, they might be happy, it might be good and all, dig a little deeper and you might find issues like this going on in those relationships that they don't talk about, what it's like. And it's crazy because, like I said, Jim Crow did not just stop. It slowed down a little bit. It's not as revved up as it once was before. It probably got stuck in neutral, so it's not in park. The car is far from broken down. And that's why I keep saying that not far removed from their ancestors. Now, I don't know how old this man and this woman is in this video, but they look relatively young. They look like they could probably be in their 20s, which means their parents are not that old, possibly, depending on when they had them. So their parents could have either been around during the end of Jim Crow or when Jim Crow was over. And look at what's been passed or tried to be passed down to her side of the family. Again, the Black guy's family is more accepting of her. Like, they, literally invite her to the cookout. The family has met her. They love her. Her family, on the other hand, not so much. And he better be careful, too, because the last time a PC girl or woman, however you want to call her, bought her Black boyfriend home, and I talked about this a couple months ago, the last time a PC girl brought her boyfriend home, he didn't make it back to college. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. I think his name was Everett Jackson. I talked about him a couple months ago. And shout out to the plainest Jane, because she talked about him too. And I think we were one of the only two to talk about him, which is another thing that a lot of the male divestors don't like to do. They don't like to talk about stories when a lot of Black men who are in interracial relationships end up, end up in that kind of position. But when it comes to the female divestor, they be all over it. See, that's that one-sidedness that I don't like. See, over here, we equal opportunity. If one gets it, the other's going to get it, which kills me sometimes, because when I be doing my Black Karen videos, I be having some trolls coming up and they're saying Black women can't be Karens and so on and so forth. But when I show those videos, they prove otherwise. Now, speaking of the female divestors, how I just used that as an example when I was talking about, how they'll come over to the Black Karen videos and be mad because I call them a Black Karen. I wonder how many of them are going to come over and flock this video. I'm just curious. And even with me putting this little disclaimer right here, I bet you they still going to find a way. But that's pretty much all I have for this one. This was a very interesting breakdown. This is probably one of my longest breakdowns too, because usually I don't like to make the breakdown so long, but we almost 25 minutes in, but that's okay. Tell me what y'all think about it down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. If for any reason the bell does not work, I do upload my videos in the Premiere style format, which means you can click the notification button that is on the thumbnail and the notification will come your way. The links will be down in the description. I will talk to you in the next one.